All right, to the winner goes the spoils, and since we beat Measurehead, that means this place, we own the harbor now, is how it works. This is a Dewey typewriter. We own this, it belongs to us, because we won it in fair combat. A standard office file cabinet. The drawers seem to be locked. Someone left the coffee machine on. The dark liquid in the pot looks almost sentient. Inland Empire has strong opinions on coffee, perhaps.
On second glance, someone has forgotten to properly close one of the drawers.
Ah, negligence. Our favorite ally.
It's unfortunate for the Union to just leave their paperwork lying around like this.
It is unfortunate. Very sad, Kim.
Let's see what's inside, he thinks.
I mean, it's our responsibility.
The drawer opens smoothly. Inside is a well-organized selection of brown folders.
Let's browse through them.
Hundreds of documents containing logistical data. Two kinds of transactions stand out. Materials coming into Revachol from the outside world, from Muindi, Grad, and even Ilmara. And the same materials being handed over to companies inside Revachol. Kuron, Coal City, La Delta, and Jamrock are listed among the many districts where the imports are being sold.
Anything interesting?
It's hard to make sense of this thicket of company names, dates, quantities, and percentages. You try to focus, but the lines are getting blurry.
That is a very bully demise thing. He would not be able to pay attention to this.
Look how blurry all the lines on these papers are. How unwieldy your own willpower is to yourself. You're like an absurdist Samaran monk, focusing through not focusing.
Yeah, that's right. We're monk-like by not having a long attention span. That's how I think about it. If I let my eyes go completely out of focus, all shapes start melting into each other. Could I start? No. Could I actually focus through not focusing?
You are a police officer, not a spiritual healer. You can focus the normal way by turning your attention to something and not letting go.
Oh, but the normal way is boring. If I let my eyes go completely out of focus, all shapes start melting into each other.
Is that what you're doing with those folders over there?
Yes.
Right. This is probably not relevant to our case. After all, we're not investigating an accounting mystery.
Oh, we can just do that again?
You're trying hard, but the data here is unbelievably dry. Something about containers.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing about paper files. You can't search for any particular text. You have to actually read everything yourself. How barbaric.
The drawer slides shut smoothly.
Well, reading files and making logical connections is not a very bully demise thing anyway. What's this? A postcard? Ooh, it's cost 4.5 real. This one postcard is worth more than all the money we have in the world. Let's see. This laminated postcard offers a glimpse across the river. A little more than a decade after the war, the Eastern Bank is already fully renovated. The hillsides are lush with gardens and residences. Someone's parked a small beige airship by the fountain. This postcard will sell for a pretty penny. A few pennies, actually. And this is magnesium. Happily take that. And neat office shades. It gives us +1 to visual calculus, but -1 to drama. Those are both intellectual stats. Let's see. Glasses. Clothes. Let's look at that. These were stuffed away in the dock workers' union office. They're perfect for scribbling down paperwork when the sun tries to get in your eyes. Good for staring down suspects, too. Alright, I mean, sure, let's steal some sunglasses, and hopefully we don't need drama. Hopefully. Maybe visual calculus will come in handy soon. book La Fumée, Volume 1, Number 4. All right, let's take a look. We're just stealing stuff. That's all we're doing right here. There's really nothing else to call it. The leading intellectual organ of Martinez communism offers a radical Mazovian perspective on a range of contemporary issues. The cover features a stylized portrait of the late King Frizzle with a pair of white antlers growing out of his head. Interact?
The front of this quarterly journal features a large satirical portrait of the late King Frizzle. From the sides of his head, a pair of white antlers spread to the corners of the cover.
Why antlers?
Because white antlers are one of the symbols of communism. They represent a society in accord with the natural world and, at the same time, above it.
Why would antlers represent being above the natural world?
A shameful way to treat a former king. Even one as underwhelming as Frizzle.
Oh, Endurance is a monarchist, I guess. Why Frizzle?
Because Frizzle was incompetent, foolish, and cruel. In short, the embodiment of everything the communards wished to overthrow. It's satire, you see.
Let's flip through the pages, see what catches our eye.
To your disappointment, there aren't any full-color pictures to direct your attention. Just column after column of closely set text, interrupted occasionally by little doodles in black and white.
You see, this is why communism fails so often. They don't actually know how to put their literature together. Where are the full-color pages that I can look at and not have to read small text? This is definitely not made for me.
After rifling the pages with your thumb several times, you return to the table of contents. The magazine is divided into several sections: international developments, Kunst und Kultur, and local concerns. Just inside the cover, there's also an editor's note.
Now let's read the editor's note.
Comrade, as you know, this journal takes its name from Mazov's immortal expression, du cristal à la fumée. This was his way of describing the way the rigid, crystalline structures of capitalist ideology turn to smoke under communism. But, like the structures of capitalist ideology, we too are at risk of going à la fumée, unlike many publications which are content to spoon-feed their readers reassuring drivel. La Fumée is committed to telling the radical truth, even when that truth may drive away potential subscribers.
In other words, not everyone is hardcore enough for the truth. The cowards will not read this, but you reading it, you're ready. Our reader base is very small because most people just are not ready for the truth. Okay, so what magazine should I read if I want to get my communism in the form of reassuring drivel? Maybe that's where we need to think about it.
So please, if you value our radical Mazovian perspective on contemporary politics, culture, and international affairs, please consider subscribing today. Yours in struggle, the editors.
Kim, I think this is a communist magazine.
What do you expect? It was laying around the office of the Debarders Union. They're probably bankrolling the thing.
You flip back to the front of the magazine. The table of contents unfolds before you.
Well, what's happening on the international scene?
This section includes a long, tedious critique of the latest round of free trade negotiations between the EPIS nations and the Free State of Semenine. You also skip over an article about heavy fuel oil smuggling along the Messina border, something about bear wrestling in Samara, book riots in Yugograd.
What's this about bear wrestling? Can we turn back to that?
Face it, you really aren't interested in foreign affairs. You're not even sure where most of these countries are.
Well, yeah, that is true.
You flip back to the front of the magazine. The table of contents unfolds before you.
What is Kunst und Kultur?
It takes a moment, but gradually it dawns on you that Kunst und Kultur must mean arts and culture. As you leaf through this section, you come across several reviews of recent radio plays, as well as a brief artist spotlight featuring a local artist identified only as CS. The main feature, though, is a long essay titled Tip-Top Tourney, a critical Mazovian perspective.
Who is this CS you're telling me about?
This so-called artist spotlight is really just a brief Q&A, made all the briefer by the subject's evident hostility to her interviewer.
And what is this tip-top tourney?
The actual article is surprisingly light on details, but after skimming a page or two, you gather that it has something to do with motor carriage racing.
All right, let's see what these communists have to say about tip-top.
You think you're settling in for a relaxing recap of the most recent season, maybe sprinkled with some nice anecdotes about a few of the more colorful drivers.
We love relaxing recaps of the racing season with nice anecdotes about the colorful drivers. I am looking forward to this.
Instead, you find yourself skimming a 10,000-word feature about all the politically problematic aspects of Tip-Top Tourney.
Well, hold on. What's wrong with Tip-Top?
Where to even start? For one, there's the crass commercialism of its sponsorships, and then there's the practically criminal emphasis on deadly motor crashes.
Well, what's wrong with a good motor crash? They just keep that's why people pay money to go see these things, right?
And that precisely is what's problematic about it. Were it not for the promise of random, spectacular violence, audiences would quickly lose interest. At the end of the day, it's the destruction of these 750,000 real races that you're really watching for.
Wow, you're right. I really am just in it for the violence.
You see, one cannot avoid the conclusion that Tip-Top Tourney is simply the apotheosis of spectacular entertainment under capitalism.
Kim, did you know that Tip-Top Tourney is actually an orgiastic ritual of capitalistic destruction? I had no idea.
I can safely say the thought had never crossed my mind, Detective.
The lieutenant furrows his brow. I wonder what else is really just a metaphor for life under capitalism.
I'm sure most things are, if the young men who wrote this article are to be believed. If I had to wager, I'd say they've never even seen the inside of a motor, much less a motor race. I take whatever they write with a large grain of salt.
You flip back to the front of the magazine. The table of contents unfolds before you.
Well, my mind has been blown by this revelation about racing. Let's see what they have to say about local concerns.
Unsurprisingly, much of this section is taken up with articles declaring unqualified support for the dock workers' strike. You skim the headlines. Paint the harbor red and white. Martinez tames the wild pines. A city in revolt. First we take Martinez, then we take La Delta.
Now, did they even interview Scab Leader? He seems like he'd be up for an interview.
Finally, there's a brief article by the writer, G. Martin, accusing the owner of the Capeside apartments of illegally attempting to evict certain communist tenants simply for not having paid their rent.
Well, charging rent just to live somewhere is pretty outrageous, honestly.
The writer G. Martin remarks dryly that capitalists love wealth redistribution, so long as it's only redistributed upward.
Oh, I see. It's a very good observation.
You flip back to the front of the magazine. The table of contents unfolds before you.
I guess there's nothing else we have interest in reading here. Yeah, we didn't actually interact with this. This broken-eared mug somehow made its way into the Whirling in Rags dumpster. It depicts a person of Samaran descent frolicking in a field of saffron flowers, buck-toothed and grinning feeble-mindedly. It seems to be a cheap knockoff of some colonial-era antique. How can we interact with this?
It's just a racist mug. What's there to read here? Not much.
But there's actually quite a lot to read into here, actually. Look at all that content.
Oh boy, here we go. What are you going to say about a broken, tossed-away mug that you dug out of the garbage?
I'm going to push this into the face of every merchant I find and tell them, this is your inane ideology.
So again, you dug it out of the trash. Why? It wasn't going to offend anyone there. Why don't you just get back to your case?
I guess there's not too much to think about there, I suppose. Instant photo of tattoos. Yeah, we didn't interact with this either.
An intricate web of blue lines stretches across the torso of the hanged man, from the right shoulder to the solar plexus. Each time the lines intersect, a small white star is formed in their crossing. Hundreds of fading asterisks riddle his skin. Their concentration is highest around his heart. It still kind of looks like a map of the stars in the night sky, but something's not right.
Who are you?
Gone.
What's the meaning of this tattoo?
For you to discover. You've gotten as far as you will without assistance.
Well, let's put the photo away. All right, I guess that's it with our interactables for right now.
Hey. Psst.
Who? Me?
Yes, you. Word on the street is you're ready to start building communism again.
How come there's word on the street?
You keep saying things like, down with the bourgeoisie, eat the rich, sodomize the landowners, impale all people who have more than 25 real in their pocket, literally murder all human beings regardless of their political beliefs. That kind of stuff.
I've said some mildly left-wing things, but none of those.
Oh yes, the mask of ambivalence. Don't deny it. You're about to rip it off and reveal the monstrous seven-eyed lamb of global communism that would devour and masticate mankind. Everyone can see that. So tell me, do you have any questions before we fire up the big communism builder? Or do we get right down to it?
Well, first, what's this communism even about?
Failure. It's about failure.
Well, I mean, we're a superstar cop. We don't do failure.
Of course you do. You are failure. You are communism. Absolutely vanquished, beaten, curb-stomped, shat on. While everyone else is out partying, having a callous laugh, you will reverse the fortune of the workers of the world. You alone, against every living thing, against every human alive. 800 trillion real in the hands of an impossibly well-organized ruling class. Towering city blocks of bankmen who have the ears of prime ministers. Million-headed armies of nations and the love of your own mother. You against the atom, the charm and the spin, where the whole world failed. Matter failed to bend to human will. Human will failed to get out of bed and tie its laces. You alone, single-handedly, will rebuild the dreams of the working class. You are the last communist. Now get to work, comrade.
I'm surprised a physical instrument didn't have anything to say about this challenge. Usually he is all for it, didn't say anything. Is this because we read a magazine? I mean, maybe that magazine is better written than I thought it was if it had this much of an effect. I guess considering how big of a choice this seems to be out of nowhere, I guess we're going to ask the chat. We probably already know what the answer is, but we're going to open the vote with the Twitch integration. And not surprising, it does seem that opt-in is winning. %68%. It was almost 69%, which of course is the best one, but not quite. Not quite.
Oh yeah. Get the firing squads and the animal wagons ready.
What? Firing squads? You didn't say anything about those.
Too late to back out now. You can't make an omelette without breaking a few million eggs.
I feel like we're jumping ahead of things. I don't I'm not sure where the firing squads are coming in at this point in the game. I guess we're going to roll our sleeves up further and breathe in the pristine air. Nothing we can do about it now. We've gained a thought. I guess let's internalize it. Oh, White Morning is almost complete. But for right now, let's see. If we internalize this, we would get -2 to visual calculus. While it's researching. Takes 3 hours, 10 minutes. People think communism was some crazy idea that had its comeuppance 40 years ago. A fever that shook the world, never to return again. They were right. Until he woke up today. A spiritual corpse responsive only to the call of Commodore Red, prostitutes, and Kraz Mazov. For him, communism is still a thing. He will single-handedly raise the commune of O2 from the oceanic trance where it has been resting, covered in ghosts and seaweed. He is the big communism builder. Come, witness his attempt to rebuild communism in the year 51. Wow, that's a lot of talk. Do we even have available spaces to do? Yeah, we would have to unlock these. So we cannot actually internalize this yet, I don't think. I think we have to open these slots. So we're not quite a communist yet, but we're getting there. This radio is emitting strange buzzing sounds.
An imposing combination of a punch clock and a payphone is looking down at you from the wall. A note on the side says, "Tokens unavailable due to strike. Use change."
Well, I mean, I'm not going to spend any money on anything for the moment. And I mean, if we can build communism, then we never will have to spend anything. It's how it works. Pretty sure. We read one magazine. I think we're qualified. We know what we're talking about. Collecting rainwater. And that. Oh, no. Just running over there when I try to click on this dot. But we can look at this.
Looks like someone left his tarpaulin cloak hanging on the railing here. The white rectangle of the Revachol Citizens Militia is clearly visible on its back. This is your cloak. You can feel it.
Lieutenant, I think that's mine.
Yes, it does bear the RCM insignia, and we are the only detectives in Martinez.
Do you think I should get it?
The service cloak issued to you by your station? Yes, I do.
Thank you for confirming that to me, Kim.
As your fingers touch the tarpaulin, it almost feels like the cloak wants to deliver a message of comfort through your fingertips. I will shield you from the elements and give my life for yours. That's what the cloak is relaying.
Let's have a look at it. A police cloak made from heavy tarpaulin. It would be nigh wind and waterproof if there weren't 3 bullet holes scattered on the surface. The signature white rectangle of the RCM covers the garment's back. We get +1 Esprit de Corpse and -1 Shivers. Well, we like Shivers. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how useful Esprit de Corps is. Actually, no, it's +1 Shivers. I was reading that wrong because the text is tiny. It does say +1 and not -1. So, okay, I guess there's no downside. Does it replace anything like this? The disco-ass blazer. Looks like someone skinned this blazer off some long-extinct disco animal. It has an enigmatic white rectangle on the back and the right sleeve. Okay, so this is, just completely better than the disco-ass blazer. There we go. Can't look at that. At least 3 packs worth of cigarette butts. Numerous empty bottles of Commodore Red and potent Pilsner.
All those empty wine bottles and cigarette butts on the ground. Someone partied really, really hard here.
Wait, how hard?
Well, they went through 6 bottles of potent Pilsner, 3 bottles of Commodore Red, and almost 4 packs of cigarettes. It must have been pretty hard.
Did I do this?
Well, yes, I think we can say with relative confidence that it was you.
I must have been on an advanced scouting mission in the harbor.
Yes, this looks pretty advanced, alright. For now, let's just move on.
Yes, no need to go over the details of my scouting mission.
This is the night watchman's booth. The name on the door reads, René Arnaud. Listen, it's okay to take a few minutes to yourself. Sit down and have a breather.
Okay. Kim, I'm gonna take a quick look inside.
If you must. But please hurry, we are pretty easy to spot up here.
Nothing incriminating catches your eye. The cabinets are clean and their sparse contents meticulously organized. There's a framed photograph on the table.
Steal the picture. Take the picture. Let's look at the picture.
It's a black and white photo of a young couple out in a street fair. The man is young, dark-skinned, and dressed in a Royal Carabinieri uniform. The girl is smiling playfully at the camera.
Why did you take that?
I'm making an artistic photo collage, Kim.
Of course you are. What murder investigation would be complete without an arbitrary photo collage?
That's what I'm saying. I'm gonna have a seat.
The chair is not as austere as the rest of the booth. A thin grey pillow is attached to the seat, secured to the stiles by black ribbons.
Breathe deep.
Stale air floods through your nostrils. Not a single mote of dust floats inside your lungs, though. The inside of the booth is immaculate.
Let's search for a little something to help us out.
The drawers are empty, save for old timesheets and receipts. One small box, however, does hold some cheap painkillers. They are slightly out of date.
Ooh, only slightly. Kim, would you mind if I help myself to some meds?
I'm not here to tell you what to do, detective.
Maybe we should read the side effects.
Oh boy, where to start? Elevated risk of dementia, mini strokes, Prophet's disease, sudden death, hair death, erectile malfunction, critical flatulence, watery blood, black mucus, uncontrollable weeping, increased sensitivity to la opera, inoperable joint disorder, total spinal collapse.
Well, these are only potential side effects. It's very rare for anyone to actually experience hair death.
Maybe this was a bad idea.
Or maybe it's a good idea.
You take the painkillers. They are yours now.
Let's get up. I see no problems with this.
And exit the booth.
Looks like there are a couple of places we can try. A couple of stairs. Oh, what's this? All around you, great machines in quiescence. White pine trees are printed onto the screen covering. Looks like a forest under snow.
A rusting control panel with several knobs. 2 buttons marked Marche and Arrête are faded with use. It seems to control the large crane above. A container is attached to its hook block.
Yeah, let's press buttons that we don't know what they do.
With a loud grind, the crane shifts overhead, moving a massive metal container through the air. With a surprisingly quiet thunk, the crane places the container down. The harbor sleeps as the strike rages in the distance. The crane can rest again, now that its purpose has been fulfilled.
Its purpose? What do you mean?
Moving this container, of course. For this purpose it was built. For this purpose it has acted. And now it will rest.
I can't see how that was worth the ruckus, except for seeing the crane in action, which I admit was satisfying.
Seeing heavy machinery in action is pretty cool, yes. I would assume the second button would put it back to where it was. Maybe we can check it out before we do that.
Before you stands a cargo container, just one of many in the yard.
Lieutenant, I think there's something special about this container.
You do? Because I don't.
What? Why not?
There are 1 million containers here. Why are you fixating on this one?
I don't know, Kim. Just feels special.
It's a cargo container, detective, just like all the others.
He doesn't even look at it.
We're not here to interact with containers. We are here to get the body down from the tree.
Yeah, but we can try knocking on the door at least.
No reply.
We can try opening the door at least.
You attempt to turn the handle, to no avail. The doors seem to be mechanically locked. To your left, the lieutenant considers your actions with some puzzlement.
Well, I guess there's nothing more to do here for now. You see faded industrial lettering on the platform. Conversing. Well, I guess we could try pressing that second button and see what happens.
A rusting control panel. The crane does not return to its original position. It does not move at all.
Alright, so not doing anything. Some real. There we go. Gonna pay that hotel debt off cent by cent. And okay. Health item. We're doing quite good with the health and morale restoratives now. Oh, what's this? The shipyard ahead is oddly quiet. The great machines are sleeping. Pile of cargo belts used for heavy lifting. One says vermilion. The speaker tower is silent. There is no work to organize in the yard below. The musk of oil and rust come from the chasm in front of us. Smells like blood. And this is... oh, it's by Fawn, which apparently is like the real stylish fashion brand. Right now we're wearing gardener's gloves. And let's see. So the gardener's gloves is +1 interfacing. This is +1 half-light. For ultimate performance efficiency, these Fawn Ultra Series gloves come fingerless and with a grippy padding covering the palms, making these ideal for quadrupedal movement or for lifting cargo. Well, we do love to get the bad advice from Half-Light, so let's like make that a little stronger. And so we can get some more bad advice. We now have... oh, not quite 6 real. Almost there. Industrial-sized thermos. Smells like burnt coffee. The banner sags under the weight of rain and snow. White waves on red.
Container, container, I'll turn you nice and red. Container, container, put the logos on.
You can only hope that you find a job that you love as much as Easy Leo finds his job. That he comes up with songs about it.
Container, container, used to be Wild Pines. Container, container, now belongs to Evrart.
The tiny man is so engaged in his work he doesn't notice you. Hi!
Evrart, 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 he looks after everyone. Huh? Well, hey there. How can I help you, mister?
And clearly, he really likes the union boss.
I see you are not a union man, mister. Did you get lost? You're not one of them scabs, are you?
A shadow passes over his kind face. What is it with you people in scabs?
I mean, I don't personally mind. Folks is just folks, you know, and folks gotta eat.
He doesn't seem to be waiting for you to answer.
Just some of the other guys don't look too kindly on the scabbing kind, if you know what I mean, mister.
What are you doing with the containers?
Oh, I'm just making some covers for them containers here. Yes, I am, yes, I am. So it's easier for the crane operators to spot them.
He waves at the containers towering behind him. Well, that's odd. The song seemed to indicate that you were stealing the containers and painting them with the colors of the Union. That's probably not what he was doing. And certainly logic is not going to allow us to make that connection. Let me ask you about something else.
Sure, mister. About what?
Where is everyone? The harbor is empty.
Oh, most of the guys are down at the gates, keeping the scabs from coming in.
He leans in with a confidential look.
We're on a strike. The whole union is. You don't have to work when you're on strike. Ha! We haven't worked for 2 months now.
The strikes do sound awesome.
So no one is working?
Not everyone is down there, of course. Mr. Evrart is in his office, where he always is. And Jean-Luc is guarding the gate.
Ah, yes. Jean-Luc. He's very good at his job. No one will ever get past him.
But Titus and his boys got into some drunken trouble and Evrart sent them on a nice vacation. For a week or so.
He stops, but seems eager to tell you more. What kind of trouble did this Titus and his friends get into?
Oh, I'm not really supposed to talk about that. That's union business.
He smiles and leans close. Well, don't lean too much, Easy Leo. You're on the edge of that container.
Him and his boys stirred up something in town. Probably drank too much and got into a fight or something. I heard Mr. Evrart telling them to take some time off.
Oh, you mean maybe they committed some violence in the town and then the union boss told them to just lay low for a little while? Probably nothing to do with what we're investigating. Also, it looks like we're about to get white mourning and find out what that was about. But what did they actually do?
I guess the boys got a bit too rowdy and had to let out some steam. I don't really know the details. That's just how boys are, you know. I haven't been in a fight since I was in middle school.
Ah, boys will be boys. Always lynching and such.
Easy, Leo. Let's keep this under hearties.
Too rowdy? Leo, what kind of a fight did they get into? Did they kill a mercenary?
Too late. Leo's mouth is still moving, and the words are spewing forth. Words, words, and look, even more words. This guy could go on till the end of days. Now he's talking about some drunk sawmill owner who... No, he already switched to a prized fishing rod he apparently owned at some point. You know what? Just cut in there with your questions.
What's in that container over there? The one I just moved?
Oh, that one. That should be empty as far as I know. Lots of containers here have nothing in them. They're just waiting to be loaded up.
Our instincts say there's something special in that one, so I don't know about that.
Told you.
Do you work here?
Yes, yes. Everybody needs a job, and this is mine. I'm Leonard, by the way. Leonard Bellick. But everyone calls me Leo.
The little man raises his hand in a welcoming gesture.
I'm like Mr. Everart's right-hand man when Mr. Edgar is out of town, and Mr. Edgar's right-hand man when Mr. Evrart is away.
He chuckles.
Actually, Miss Beaufort is the right-hand man, but she's a lady.
A good-hearted chuckle again.
Who is this, Miss Beaufort?
The lieutenant looks up at Leo.
A real pretty lady with a skin like those douce sucre candy bars my missus likes so much. Them are real nice to suckle on once the dinner is done and me and the missus sit down beside the radio.
I'm not sure how skin would be comparable to an after-dinner candy, but I'm sure there must be some comparison there.
But I can't listen to the radio all the time. There's so much to do around here, and I'm always busy keeping things running here. Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Well, I think you're doing a great job around here, Leo.
Yes, this place really seems to run like clockwork. Keep it up, Leo.
The lieutenant smiles at the little man.
Well, thanks a lot. Coming from you, it means a lot, really.
You don't think it was possible, but the smile becomes even wider.
Sometimes I feel some of the guys don't really get how much I bust my ass for them here. But you guys are alright.
Well, if you think I'm alright, I am looking for the leader of the Dockworkers Union, and I feel like only you can tell me about this, Easy Leo. You're the person that someone needs to come to about something as important as this.
Oh, you want Mr. Evrart then? He's an awfully nice fellow, he is. Him and his brother are both nice fellows. They've lived their entire lives in this here neighborhood.
He coughs, then continues immediately.
Guys like Mr. Evrart and Mr. Edgar, his brother, are real good guys. Made Martinez what it is today. Mr. Evrart and Mr. Edgar and I went to the same school we did when we were boys.
Easy now, Leo. I just want to know where we can find this man.
Oh, Mr. Evrart is where he always is. In his office, of course.
He points to the two joint containers on your right. All right, well, I guess we know where he is.
Bye-bye now.
He returns to his work. Okay, White Morning, what is this? And the little guy gets smaller and smaller as you rise above the dollhouse world. You see him out on the snow, on the streets, in the shop in the corner, and finally in a matchbox house. Sitting by the window, white flowers on the windowsill. You can smell them from up here. It's awful. A white morning, a modern death, divorce, or something similar. All you can do is put more distance between you and him, make him smaller, make him less you. Plus 20%. Zoom out distance. All motorics learning caps raised by 1. Uh-huh. So we can we can zoom out more. That could be useful. Need to pass time by a book. Oh yeah, I guess we did pass some time by reading that magazine. But I mean, it was worthwhile because now we're a communist, right? The coffee in the giant thermoses is still lukewarm. A stair made of pallets leading up. Taxidermy fish that tells time. Alright, this looks like a boss, if I've ever seen one.
Before you is a walrus of a man seated behind a large desk. He looks up from his work, not the least bit surprised to see you. With great effort, he straightens himself up in his chair, yet says nothing. He simply stares at you.
Are you in charge of the dock workers?
Welcome, Mr. Dubois, Mr. Kitsuragi. It's good of you two to stop by. Please, have a seat.
He gestures to a tiny chair opposite to his giant desk. Yeah, I guess that's a chair right there. It is quite smaller than his. Also, he's calling us Mr. Dubois. I don't know who that is. Must be a mistake.
I'm Evrart Clare, head of the Debarders Union here in Martinez.
The man relaxes into his chair and continues.
I'd offer you my hand, but unfortunately my health prevents me from getting up. You understand?
Yeah, I've also had trouble getting up before.
He looks extremely comfortable. The tiny folding chair, on the other hand, looks like a torture device.
You go ahead, detective.
The lieutenant nods at you, then the chair.
Whatever he has in store for you, it can't be good, he thinks. I'll do my best.
Hopefully our best is good enough.
Forget about that. What's with this Dubois stuff? You're getting some seriously bad vibes from that name.
Why are you calling me Mr. Dubois?
Please, Mr. Dubois, let us converse in a civilized manner, as equals. Take a seat. I insist.
It's nothing. Yes, that's probably right. It's nothing. Forget about it. Filter it out.
All right, let's sit down.
Excellent, Mr. Dubois. I can see that you are a reasonable man, and reasonable men can be of great use to one another.
Try to wink back. Is our frozen facial expression capable of winking? I guess we will see.
So tell me, how can the head of the Debarders Union help a representative of the Revachol Citizens Militia today?
I guess we won't find out how successful our wink was.
The chair is incredibly uncomfortable. Fortunately, your ass is made of iron, and the chair is made of wood. Iron beats wood. You manage not to shift around too much.
That's right. This ass is iron.
Oh, by the way, I heard you got a rather rude reception from a certain Lawrence Gart. Some people have no manners, it pains me to say. This should take care of that nonsense.
He points to a giant novelty check on his desk. It's absolutely comically huge.
It should be sufficient to cover your expenses for a few days and patch over your differences with a cafeteria manager. Go ahead, take it.
He points at it again.
Hey, that's 25 real. That's good money. Think of all the stuff you could.
Wait, you know Gart?
Yes, I know Lawrence. He's a real character. No union man in him. A real piece of work, that boy is.
So I think that we have a conflict. We really do need money, but at the same time, it seems like we probably shouldn't accept any favors from Evrart Clare. Seems like he's not someone we really want to be in debt to. And of course, as an officer, we really shouldn't be accepting money in the first place. So, well, maybe we'll just open up this to the chat. What does the chat think? Should we take the comically large check? Should we take it and not say anything? Should we refuse the check? Or should we insist that Evrart shoves the check up his ass? Let's see what the chat has to say about it. Really only two choices, but how rude we are about it is the main choice. Well, so far it does seem like the chat thinks we should refuse it but be polite. I'm actually surprised that they want us to be polite about it. All right, keep it. I'm good.
Okay. I respect a man with principles.
He crosses his arms on his ample midsection and sinks further into his chair.
Now, I'd like to set your mind at ease about one other matter. Your lost gun. Let me assure you, Union people are on it as we speak. I've got my best hounds looking for that lost gun.
Wow, he also knows that we sold our gun.
His slug-like lips move, but all you hear is an echo. Lost gun, lost gun, lost gun. The world is swallowed by a black hole of fear. Only two words escape its gravitational pull. Lost and gun.
Oh, hitting us in our weak point, the morale. How do you know about my lost gun?
I know everything, Harry. Right now, I know that you're worried. Don't be worried. Everything's going to be all right.
There's that Harry name. Where are people even getting this? That's not our name.
It's not like you left it loaded. You didn't lose a loaded gun. Local children aren't out there playing with it right now, pointing it into their own mouths. It's in a safe place. I just know it. I have a feeling everything's going to be all right.
That is low. -2 because the chair is killing us. +1 but our ass is iron. -1 side effect spooks. Extremely low. Maybe we should ask Kim for help.
Officer, we will deal with this later. We don't need Mr. Clare's help with this.
I wouldn't be so sure about that.
So it seems that we have to do the choice. I mean, the dice roll. Okay, well, maybe we could try to... The chat could boost a stat. Don't take a point out of psyche, perhaps. But it seems like composure needs a help. It does need some help. Okay, so it went down even more. Okay. Well, I mean, 3%, that means there's a 3% chance we could get it. Let's try it.
God, you're sweating. Your knee is jerking. You're about to cry, aren't you? You're about to cry because you lost your gun and those children are gonna shoot themselves with it.
And if you're wondering, that is the thing about the Twitch integration, is that the chat can ruin your chances for a choice as well as help. It's up to them, really. They can do whichever they want. But we probably would have failed that one anyway. I don't think any boost we got was going to be enough. So what? Men can cry too. And I'm a manly man, which means I have manly tears.
You want to cry? God, you're weak. Whatever you do, don't cry. He'll think you're disgusting.
Mr. Dubois, you don't look so good.
Morale's critical.
What is this, Mr. Dubois? He keeps repeating. What is he trying to pull here? You need to cool the fuck down. Chill.
I'm sure hurriedly guzzling down pills in the middle of this conversation was not a problem. That didn't look strange at all.
Mr. Dubois! Mr. Dubois! Harry!
The large man snaps his fingers, but to no effect. You're in some stupor. There are no Harrys. Let your mind go to a safe place.
Mr. Dubois, are you okay? Can I get you a glass of water or something? Are you having some kind of medical emergency?
Maybe you could use your hands somehow, in a kind of throw-in motion, like you're throwing that Mr. Dubois act right back at him. He's Mr. Dubois.
Nah, I'm as good as it gets, Mr. Dubois, as we vaguely gesture with our hands above our head.
Don't be dramatic. I can see your condition isn't terminal.
Well, my drama is also very low, Kim.
What an odd demonstration of... you got me, Harry. I don't even know what. As entertaining as it was, I'm afraid we're wasting our time. And I'm an extremely busy man, as I'm sure you are too.
Okay, enough. We are here to ask you some questions pertaining to a murder investigation.
Kim deciding to assert himself here.
Quick, here's your window. Get yourself together and ask him questions. Police officer questions.
What's in that container that's outside your office?
My dear Harry, there are literally millions of containers in this harbor. I couldn't possibly remember what's in all of them.
No, there's something special about it. It was attached to the Conversing crane.
Harry, you smooth-talking son of a bitch. Time is a precious resource, and I don't have enough of it to count containers with you.
Smooth talking. Maybe that's the way to go about opening the container. You should at least try convincing it.
Yes, we should talk to the container. Well, aren't you at least going to ask me how I got in to, your stronghold? That seems like it should be of your concern.
Am I going to ask? Hell, Harry. You spin-kicked my strongest man in the face. I saw it from my window.
Yeah, he saw it. Everyone saw it and thought we were the coolest. Everyone saw our only victory so far in this game.
Would you ask a man like that how he got into your container yard?
I understand. I am a terrifying death machine.
Don't worry, Harry. Between you and me, I'm not a huge fan of his race thing, but the Union did not get where we are today by frowning on eccentricity. Anyway, I assure you, I am a very well-informed man. Information reaches me before I even get the chance to request it.
Well, I guess let's get down to business. We want to talk about the hanging.
Oh, of course. That's your main thing here. That's why you're in Martinez. I know everything that goes on around here, and I would love to discuss it with you.
That's so convenient. I want you to tell me everything you know.
I mean, it's no secret that the lynching is connected to the strike. So much to talk about. Honestly, it's been weighing on me so heavily. I understand you need to interview me.
Yes, I do need to interview you. We understand each other, so I will say nothing.
But there's a thing that's been keeping me up at night. I want to talk about the hanging. I mean, if we could just calmly talk, exchange information, we could blow this thing wide open.
That sounds wonderful.
Yes, that sounds good. Let's do that.
Yeah, let's all work together and solve this case right now.
But I can't think straight with this thing weighing on me. You're police officers, aren't you? I have a crazy idea. You guys are basically door-opening machines, incredibly talented at opening doors.
I mean, I did open the one door by kicking Measurehead, so I guess that's true.
And I'm sure you're going to open this one with flying colors, Harry. This really is very simple, and there's nothing shady about it.
Well, I'm relieved to hear that, because as an officer, I would be forbidden in engaging in shady behavior, but I'm sure Evrart knows that.
Does this jiggling ooze think he's going to use you? He's got another thing coming. Play his game, son, with your eyes peeled. He's going to slip up, and when he does, you're going to come out on top.
And no surprise that Physical Instrument does not respect Evrart. Why don't you just open the door yourself?
Harry, I'm a very busy man, and more importantly, I don't have that extraordinary physique you do. You look like you could run around all day.
Well, I try to take care of myself, yes.
You want to send someone a message that the police are working for you.
I repeat, I'm a very, very busy man, Mr. Kitsuragi, and therefore I must occasionally enlist outside help. So what will it be, Harry?
He's so busy. He's so incredibly busy. He doesn't have time for any of these trivial matters. He's just so busy. Whose door would you say you need to be opened, hypothetically?
Oh, no one's. It's just a weasel. A weasel lives there. Nothing for you to worry about.
What do you mean by a weasel?
A loud blabbering weasel. When weasels feel no one is watching, they start acting foolishly.
He removes his glasses and rubs his nose.
Just go there, unlock the door, and leave it open. It's been such a burden on me, Harry. I just want this to be over so I can discuss business with you.
He puts his glasses back on. I bet you don't even know anything about the hanging.
Harry, my dear friend, I am what people call a local bigwig. I know everything that goes on in Martinez.
Well, we did refuse the bribe. Are we willing to engage in some potentially shady business with Evrart with the promise, the temptation, the feeling that he is going to massage us with his information and his facts? Should we do this one little tiny insignificant thing for him? I mean, it's not taking money, but maybe we should put that up to the chat to see what they think. What's just a tiny thing, right? Surely we're not, like, getting into Evrart's pocket or anything if we were to accept to do a job for him. And it looks like the chat is saying that we would look into it. So, all right. We'll look into it. We do need to talk about this murder.
Fantastic, my friend. Just let me know when it's done and we can take our friendship to the next level.
Ahem, goodness, I thought we were just talking about a murder, Evrart, but... Alright, let's, Well, I'll come back without Kim, and we'll see where the night takes us.
You can get the key from Manana. He's down by the gates. Manana's like a free agent in the Union. Special operations. Hardened socialist. A real free thinker, too. He'll tell you precisely where the door is. One last thing, Harry.
Hmm?
Just open the door. You don't need to go in or anything. I just want that weasel to come home and see the unlocked door.
Very well. But while we're talking about, talking about a murder, could you help with the dead body that is in the tree?
You might have noticed there's one hanging on a tree behind the hostel cafeteria.
Oh my. Don't take this question personally, but why would I get involved in this matter?
Mr. Clare, the man was hanged with a cargo belt, a steel-reinforced cargo belt. It's safe to assume the Union had something to do with the murder. Besides, getting the body down would benefit all of us. It's a stain on the neighborhood.
Yeah, the belt thing. The belt thing that Kim said.
I can certainly see how having him up there might start affecting some real estate values.
He licks his fat lips and smiles.
But of course, all joking aside, I am going to help you.
He picks up the handset of a radio phone to his right, then clicks a button.
Jean-Luc, the cop who bested you in physical combat is here, and he has a little dead body in a tree problem. Namely, he needs it to be taken down. Please extend him this courtesy.
Oh, Measurehead is being made to take the body down for us. How humiliating.
You can find Luke down at the gates, but you already knew that. Anyway, he's going to help you, now that he's back on his feet.
Can we talk about that gun for a little bit?
Yes, your lost gun. My best men are on it. They're turning every stone, searching every playground, asking kids, grandmas, everyone.
Well, please let me know if you find the grandma that stole my gun.
Your gun will be found, Harry. Let me assure you of that. It's just a matter of time and effort.
Why did you put some dots before you said effort? I feel like everything with you is some sort of innuendo, Evrart.
The only way to find it seems to be working with him. He might even be holding your gun hostage.
Hold on. Could he really hold my gun hostage?
Who knows? Only one thing is certain. If you work with him, you're going to get it back. And working with him might be the only way to do it.
Does this mean if I do things for you, I'll get my gun back?
Damn it, Harry. That's exactly what it means. I'm only kidding, of course.
I did get experience.
He is not.
No, I didn't think he was, Half-Light.
Of course. I understand. We help you, you help us.
But one question. You called me Mr. Dubois. Why do you call me that? That's not a person who exists.
Of course. Let us dispatch with the formalities. You call me Evrart, I call you Harry.
That's what the hanged corpse called you. Harry.
So that's really my name?
My God, so it's true. I didn't want to believe it, but you are a fantastic science fiction amnesiac cop, aren't you? What are the odds of that?
I think the odds of that are very low.
It's true. My memory is a bit hazy.
I assure you, there's nothing to be ashamed of, Harry. You're among friends, and the good news is...
He taps on the folder in front of him.
I have a big fat folder on you, Harry. I'm sure you have a lot of questions to ask. Maybe I can help you out.
Don't trust him. For all you know, Dubois might be his name. You need to confirm this.
I'm sure you had some concerns you thought I might be able to address. And you were probably right. I can.
Are you trying to tell me you've gotten hold of some of our documents?
The lieutenant inspects Evrart over his spectacles.
Mr. Kitsuragi, would you mind? Me and Harry are talking about his lost identity right now.
That is a low chance to look at the folder. Let's get this straight. What is my full name?
It's Harry. Harry Dubois.
Still skeptical about that.
You don't feel like either one of these things. You know what your name is. You have a sophisticated name, like that of a count, or a beautiful man.
That's not my name. My name is Raphael Cousteau.
Fine, Harry. You can even be Harry Raphael de Bois de Costeau, or whatever you choose to be. Mr. Kitsuragi doesn't seem even slightly empathetic to your memory loss, Harry. I, however, wish to help you any way I can.
It shouldn't matter to me because I'm a hobo cop, but do you know where I live?
But of course, Harry. Your precinct is the 41st and you live in Jamrock. You're a Jamrock boy. A long way from home, but that's okay.
Do you know anything about my family? Do I have a wife or kids? Or it seemed like the last time we thought about this, I almost died again, so maybe it's not a good idea to ask, but...
Family? Harry, you're not a family man. There's not one peep of family in here. Unless you think you're a family man. Do you strike yourself as a family man, Harry?
You're right, I don't.
That's why I like you, Harry. A good man knows both his strengths and his weaknesses, and you, my friend, you are one of the all-time greats.
What kind of cop does it say I am?
Harry, you're not simply a cop, you're a star. A bright shining star in the drab law enforcement sky, outshining all other stars. You're a superstar.
And that's what we've been trying to say. That's what I like about you, Evrart. You get me.
Of course I do, Harry. And I'm gonna help you shine. I'm gonna put you on all the big stages. Your name in giant neon letters. Harry Dubois.
The giant neon sign reading Harry Dubois, hanging from the Conversing crane, can be seen all the way to Jamrock.
Yeah, Inland Empire can see it already. Gotta do something about the name, though. That's not our name.
Somewhere in Mirova, a beautiful woman sees the bright glow on the horizon and says to herself, "Oh my god, I shouldn't have left him."
Yeah, if we get that sign up, that'll teach her. But who are we talking about? It's probably not important. Where did you get that folder?
Ah, this? My friends in your organization gave it to me, Harry.
Oh, well, if it was from my organization, I guess that's fine.
I find that very suspicious. May I have a look?
I'm afraid this is meant for union eyes only, Mr. Kitsuragi. I'm sure you understand. Please continue, Harry.
So that's a red check. It's low. It did increase. Kim +1, Kim suspects something, +1 red shipping folders before. So there is always the possibility that we could do things to increase the percentage there, but... And if we do it, it's a red check, so it can't be redone, so... Maybe we'll just save that, possibly. Assuming that if we came back to talk to him again... if that choice would still be there. But then again, when I was talking to Sylvie and we had that empathy check, that didn't come back. Let's talk of other matters for a moment.
Of course, Harry, of course. Let's not linger on personal details and amnesia. You wanted something from me.
I wanted to go over a couple of things about me.
Let's hear it, Harry.
Oh no, it's just this. It's just this. Alright, well, if we're going to try this, this would be, drama is intelligence. So, let's see if the chat might be able to boost the intelligence. And, let's see if we can increase this a little bit. I don't think no matter what we do, the odds here are never going to be high just because of how low intellect is. So it's always going to be long odds to actually do this. 42% is higher than we probably deserve, so let's go for it.
As you look at the phone,
Wow.
Evrart covers it with his hand and pets it. He's hiding it from you because it's not a real RCM folder. It's just another one of those brown folders you saw in the file cabinet.
That's not an RCM folder.
Okay, Harry, you got me. This is from the Census Bureau, not the RCM. Those Census Bureau people are absolutely corrupt. You should do something about them.
Yes, we should do something about some corrupt organizations around here, maybe.
He got the name from the Census Bureau, and everything else from your actions here in Martinez.
Yes, Mr. Kitsuragi from the Census Bureau. Like I said, now I'm actually a very busy man. So is there anything else I can do for you, Harry?
Oh, we pierced his cool exterior a little bit.
A pity. The mystery of you will have to remain a mystery for the time being.
So the Census Bureau says my name is Harry Dubois.
Yes, that's what I said. Try to keep up, okay? Let's move on.
Evrart, I'm going to leave now, but we might talk again later.
Wait. You need this to get in and out through the gate.
Well, thanks. I was wondering how I was supposed to get out.
Here, you're one of us now. A real red and white union man. Take care, Harry.
All right. So, that didn't go so badly. We are on the hook for doing something for Evrart, which is go to the basement door behind the greenhouse in the backyard to intimidate the occupant. Do what we have to do. Evrart has promised to give you info on the case in return. Get the key to the weasel's door from Manana. Let's see. We have the card. No, I don't see it. Maybe, I guess it's just something we automatically have, maybe. And that looks like it's the end of our conversation with Evrart. For now, anyway. Well, he's the man in power around here. We were not able to ask him about the thing that, Easy Leo, I think his name was. We weren't able to ask him the thing that he said, that there were a bunch of people who got into a bit of a fight, and then Evrart told them to lay low, something like that. Oh, hold on. I think there's something, yeah, something over there. Some real. We now have almost 7 whole real. Honest real, though. We did not take the bribe. So I guess, like, I guess probably our biggest lead is actually the thing that Easy Leo told us. That maybe there were a bunch of union workers who got into a fight with the victim. What is that? The composite eye of halogen lights watches me, emitting a low buzz.
You're back before the cargo container. Its draw has not lessened since you were last here. If anything, it seems to have grown slightly.
3% go!
Why are you even trying to open a door with rhetoric?
Because getting physical wasn't an option!
Because what wasn't an option?
Using my body over my wits.
Now is not the time to get philosophical, detective. You can do that after hours.
I guess not. So there was a chance of success. So is it actually possible to convince the door to open? Oh, there's something on that roof there. Oh, actually, I didn't check these stairs here. Maybe I can't check these stairs here. Doesn't seem like it. Oh, I see. I wasn't able to get onto that roof. There are no stairs that lead to that roof. I guess we'll go talk to Manana. Is Measurehead still here? Yeah, he's still standing there. I guess we should have a chat with him. Post beatdown.
Do not presume this has drastically altered our race dynamic.
I knocked you out like a god of martial arts.
True. I said nothing about our personal dynamic. That has altered. A little.
Oh, you can still become a racist, huh? You can still do that even if you've gotten past him. You can get into the optional racism. Evrart told you to help us get the body down from the tree.
So it was. You bested me in race combat to reach my superior, then had him give me an order. I salute your cunning, enemy. I will go and remove the body from the tree with my bare hands.
You're so noble, Measurehead.
But while I am gone, someone must stand guard on the bridge. That someone needs to be you. Both of you.
Lieutenant, what if we don't want to do that?
This is the uncomfortable result of not taking it on ourselves. I can live with a compromise.
Listen to your little friend. He is wise in his childlike way. His mysterious race may yet prove fierce competition to my heroic haplogroup.
Well, Kim's okay with it, and we don't seem to have any other way of getting that body down, so... Okay, Measurehead. We will wait here.
Babe, see that they stay here the whole time.
I'm sure we can trust Measurehead. He seems, you know, like an honest man. Like, he has his racist viewpoints, but he's very straightforward about what he thinks. The seat doesn't really seem like something he'd do.
The woman's gaze follows Measurehead as he leaves.
So, you guys are like cops or something?
Apparently so. That's what they tell me.
Cool. I like men with guns and power. I'm Katya, by the way.
You hear that? That sound. He's breaking something.
I mean, probably the tree. Like, I guess you would have to break the tree to get it down, right?
Yeah, Jean-Luc must be really tearing it up over there. I wish I could see it.
I also wish I could see it.
Look at you! RCM rent-a-cops! Guarding that bridge like Evrart's lapdogs! Is this where it's at now? The RCM is for sale!
No, I didn't take his money. I'm doing this for free.
And who are you? What is your business here? Why are your clothes 4 sizes too small for you?
Oh, Kim noticed that. I'll work with whoever I want.
A shrill laughter interrupts you, echoing across Martinez. It's Kuno. Then,
Oh, are we missing an interaction between Measurehead and Kuno?
the man turns to look behind him at the behemoth appearing around the corner, approaching him, walking past him.
Man, Scab Leader is not even worth Measurehead's notice.
The corpse has been removed from the tree. Stand down and congratulate yourself. You have sided with Ray's victory today.
But there's been no side choosing. We did what we had to do to keep order.
And what you had to do was to become a Union man for all to see.
I don't have an issue with being a Union man, you know, philosophically. It's just that if the Union is committing crimes, we do have... I mean, that's a different thing altogether, you understand, Jean-Luc. Okay, what does this say? Go to the yard, see what Measurehead accomplished. Okay. Did we... the body, is it finally down? Is it finally on the ground? Oh, talk to Manana while we're here.
So, how'd you like our harbor?
It's just nice enough. There's this one particular container, though. It's one really good container.
It's but a rest area on the path leading across open plains.
He notes solemnly, then turns to you, a wide smile adorning his face.
Right. You talk to the boss, eye to eye, like men of the plain. If you have any more questions, I'm set to talk.
Evrart said he had a key to a door.
A key, huh? What door is this key supposed to open?
He said it belonged to a weasel.
Oh, say no more. I got you.
He taps the side of his nose with a little wink.
I got that key right here. And let me tell you, it's mighty good of you to help us out during the strike. Working class solidarity, as they say.
I saw an opportunity and took it. I'm a hustle grinder.
I'm not so sure about the hustle grind, but... You know, it doesn't matter. It's a good thing you're doing. Thanks. What you're looking for is a basement door behind the greenhouse. That's behind the whirling in rags. That's all I know. Our organization is what you call compartmentalized. Means we keep out of each other's business.
Okay, but where did you get the key from?
The janitor gave it to me. Nice fella. We talked about life and things that really, truly matter.
His gaze wanders off into the distance.
None of this mess we're in. This jiving and juggling. What's it for? To feed our children, I guess.
Anything else I should know about this task? This weasel person? When he'll be home?
I'm more of a philosophical dock worker. I like to talk about the big picture stuff. Who I am, who you are, what we are fighting for.
Well, I can understand that, Manana.
Who he is and what they're fighting for? This is interesting.
All right, well, why are you striking, Manana?
We're negotiating our share.
Your share of what?
Aye.
So not wage or pensions or...
This stuff. They already covered.
All right, you already have good wages and pensions. Well, I mean, not to take sides, but shouldn't you be grateful? A lot of people don't have a pension, Manana.
Never grateful. Were we ever grateful, we'd have nothing. You fight for every piece.
I understand that, but what are we talking... With this share we're talking about, what do you mean by that?
All of it. However, right now we want all the harbor workers to be on the company's board, so they could take part in the decision-making process.
All right, all the workers on the board. That would be one very large board. Like a board meeting would have to take place in an auditorium, I guess. Are you communist, Manana?
No. I don't think I'm a communist. Seeing something of value and saying I want it all to myself is a much older and simpler notion. No science to it at all.
I suppose not.
Even a weak child can think it. The only things holding someone back are I can't and I shouldn't.
Right on, brother.
Just the way the world works, boyadero.
The boss man, Evrart. What can you tell me about him?
I think it's best you make up your own mind now that you've met him. In my eyes, he is a capable organizer and a decent businessman.
What does bossing the union entail, anyway?
I guess you kind of get to be the village chief. He oversees the harbor, makes deals with the owners or other relevant parties, watches out for his own.
By that, you mean corruption?
By heavens, why would he not be corrupt? We live in a harsh and disordered world, see? And in this world...
Yeah, in a corrupt world, don't you have to be corrupt?
The old man is corrupt for our benefit, and we know it. Appreciate it even. He is, personally, not too lavish.
His desk seemed a little lavish.
He is reasonably lavish, sure. That's his prerogative. It's not like you want a saintly demeanor on a corrupt motherfucker. That would be a manipulative illusion.
So he is honest about his lavishness.
Besides, there are no non-corrupt systems in the world anyway. And moralism is the most corrupt of them all.
And you seem to have spent a lot of time thinking about the political situation.
Sure. I've had the necessary free time. Fortunately, there's always time.
The look in his brown eyes conjures up an understanding. For him, having command of his time is the most important thing.
Yeah, same. Honestly, that is the most important thing.
The man sits on the railing, his hands reaching far and wide, yet it feels as if he could effortlessly go even wider, if need be. An endless torrent of time.
Any idea who killed the hanged man, Manana?
The mercenary, eh? Who could have killed him? That's indeed the question. Why even do such a thing?
The harbor is a prime area of suspicion. In your opinion, are the dock workers involved in the killing?
What a thought. Why would noble workers resort to such a thing? Unless they were pushed, of course.
And pushed how?
Your dead guy was an enemy combatant.
Well, what does that mean?
He was an agent of the opposition, attempting to undermine our honorable efforts.
Did you kill him, Manana?
I ain't the murdering type, but that's just me. Large organizations like our union have all sorts of men, with all sorts of skills.
Including the murdering skills.
He means a more violent faction could easily take care of such a thing.
Understood. This has been of limited use. Still, thank you.
No problem. I wish the best to you in your search. Sure, I'm glad it's not my search.
He takes a sip from his flask. Well, good talking to you. Gotta run. Alright. So we got the key. And just one thing I want to do real fast. I just want to see the body on the ground. Because that body has been in that tree all this time. Oh, what's this?
All around you, rain falls on the great city of Revachol. Rain drips from the eaves and floods the gutters, washing the filth away. The spring thaw must be here. The snow is melting.
What am I doing?
Looking up at the sky, cold water dripping from your hair.
What do I see?
Grey sky like great battleships, clouds colliding with one another. Rain falls down on the world.
How does it feel?
Humid. Your coat shields you from the rain while the city shivers around you.
What's in the west?
Sheets of rain over the water. A flight of stairs leading into the ocean. Wave after wave washing the coast of Martinez, with its motorboats and gently swaying reeds. The ruins of a half-sunken sea fort crumble on an inlet beyond the Bay of Revachol. Ghosts rise into the sky.
Who are you, ghosts?
The skyscrapers of La Delta, the financial district. Faint golden light seeps from the office windows. Will you ever go there?
Will I?
No, you are just one of the hundreds of thousands who watch them rise across the bay from Martinez every day.
What is down the shore?
Urban coastline, rain dripping off Eternite-covered roofs, cinder blocks left over from half-finished construction, a defunct research and development building, once seized by revolutionaries. An old wooden church stands on stilts above the water.
And beyond that?
Coal City, end of all lines.
We run our fingers through our dampened hair. Your hair is an oily mess flecked with ash from the neighboring coal plants. Smokestacks rise somewhere in the distance. What's in the east?
The great gates of the industrial harbor are locked. A chill runs down your back. You shudder like an animal trying to shake water from its hide.
Shake our shoulders again.
You shudder, looking down at your feet. Dirty rainwater runs veins into the plaza's snow. 2 green snakeskin shoes stand at attention on the mosaic paving of the plaza.
What's in the north?
Tower blocks crowd one another. 4.46mm bullets still lodged in their war-torn stone walls. Hallways collapse from the mortar hits of a war that was lost long ago. Clotheslines go to waste in the rain. Radios play.
And closer to here?
A yard. Rain falls onto the roof of a woodshed. Coal leaks into a puddle beneath the feet of a dead man. He swings from a tree, a gaping hole in his bare, rotting chest.
What's in the south?
A traffic jam. Rain thrumming on the roofs of motor vehicles. Inside, drivers watch water streaming down their windshields. The statue of a king shudders. He too is cold. The canal bridge has been raised.
What's on the other side of that bridge?
The road ascends. A raised motorway loops above the ghetto. Beneath its concrete columns, a sea of rooftops, woodwork, and tar stretches northward. 4-story buildings as far as the rain can fall. The snows melt in Jamrock.
Where the hood at?
Have a brother in the cut. Where the hood at?
Why am I not there?
To be in Martinez, where no one goes, at the runoff point of a long-forgotten canal, in the whitest part of town, in the shadow of the day the revolution fell.
What am I doing here?
Standing in the rain, looking north, where Jamrock Rock City stretches inland.
We shudder and look further.
In the rain-swept distance, above the rooftops of Jamrock, a repurposed silk mill stands perched above the motorway exit. Precinct 41 hunches in the rain. Your vision blurs. You wipe your face with your hand. The rain stings your eyes, making you look up and blink.
What's above?
Coalition aerostatics hang like apparitions under the cloud cover. Way up there, where rain forms, rotors flutter silently. Your sight clears.
What's below?
Collapsed storm drains, old sewage systems flooded with rainwater. Hidden weapon caches from the revolution. Doors leading down to Le Royaume. The catacombs to which, for 3 centuries, they delivered the blue-blooded dead.
Motherfucker.
This rain will not let up anytime soon. At least we are dressed for it. Let's keep moving.
I guess to Kim, we were just standing there for a few seconds. Well, we did get a description of the city from the gardener earlier, but this one was much more evocative. There it is. Are you just here all day, Kuno? And Kuno S? Alright, I just wanted to see the body on the ground. We're going to save the game. And clearly, next time, as we continue on with Disco Elysium, first order of business is to examine this body, which is finally on the ground, and probably also talk to Kuno and ask him if he was bothering Measurehead, and if he was, how was he still alive? Well, Measurehead probably wouldn't hit a kid. I feel like he wouldn't. So yeah, a lot of stuff happening in the investigation. We talked to Evrart, talked to the boss. Have to do a favor for him, which I'm not real sure about if we should be doing. And we have the body down, and we delivered a spin. Well, that was the previous video that we did the spin kick to Measurehead, but that was still our big victory of the game so far. And we also had Shivers tell us about the city. So we're going to see what we can see when we examine this body, and we still have so many open quests. We have to open that apartment door. We also, go to the yard, see what Measurehead accomplished. We want to, what was it? There was one. There we go. Where's the rest of the armor? We need to talk to Kuno because he lied to us about something. About the armor. But for right now, we're going to leave. Over the site of our victory, the hanged man is finally down from this tree. Let's get out of here, Kuno. Yeah. Let's get out of here.